This is the town of Lyman, based in Ukraine in the direct front line of the Russo Ukrainian war. What is being used in everyday households is also being used in war. These drones utilize fiber optic cable to lower latency and to send un-jammable signals. Despite them having 5 to 30 kilometer range, it is more than enough to do effective damage. These drones are being used to target military assets. The drones are largely being used on the front lines of the Russo Ukrainian war as a means of targeting militarized assets. However, what we are seeing is not just concentrated at the border. As of June 1st, 2025, Operation Spiderweb destroyed over $7 billion worth of Russian military assets, reaching over 4,300 kilometers into Russian territory. These were hitting air bases, strategic/supersonic bombers, early warning and control aircraft. This was carried out by what seemed like a small-scale operation by the SBU Security Service of Ukraine. The strike was carried out as follows. In Russia, they transport wooden cabins routinely on flatbed trucks, which the SBU took advantage of. 18 months before the operation, they were planning to hide quadcopter drones within the roof of portable homes. These drones were disassembled in Ukraine, smuggled over the border and assembled in Chelyabinsk. Later, when they had arrived and been assembled at their destination 150 kilometers north of the Russian-Kazakhstani border, 2 modular homes were loaded into each truck, with the drones being hidden within them. The unsuspecting Russian drivers drove them across Russia to their target destinations. Once the trucks reached their destinations, the roofs were raised by a remote control, and 117 small FPV attack drones took off from the roof of the cabins. These drones split and went to target specific locations, and overnight, just like that, $7 billion USD worth of Russian military equipment was completely destroyed. And later, one of the trucks was found 7 kilometers away from Belaya Air Base. Drones are becoming more and more effective, and it's because of one reason. They are incredibly cheap and easy to produce, as their countermeasures are vastly more expensive. This is apparent as a Shahed 136 and a Garan 1 or a Garan 2 kamikaze drone costs around $20,000 a piece, compared to a countermeasure of a Patriot missile, which costs approximately $4 million a piece, with a full MIM-104 Patriot missile batteries reaching approximately $1.1 billion, and it's not even a guaranteed interception. That's over 200 to 55,000 times the cost of a single kamikaze drone, and they are only getting cheaper. Most countries are already aware of this massive vulnerability, as there's a big Western gap in the technology. Stick around to find out how the US is dealing with this, but this huge change in pricing has caused nations to mass produce drones, such as the Russian plan to produce 11,000 drones per month via factories like Yelabuga. Yes, this may seem like a whole lot of shenanigans as so many world leaders are involved, but the main beneficiary of this Russia-Ukraine drone warfare is China, as they are selling these components to make these drones. DJI, who owns 70 to 80% of the global consumer-grade drone market, are getting their drones trialed and tested in the war, even despite suspending all business operations in Russia and Ukraine in April 2022. This is due to both Russian and Ukrainian forces bypassing DJI's official business suspension, software restrictions, and tracking systems through a combination of hardware hacking, custom firmware modification, and external acquisition networks. The US government launched an aggressive regulatory crackdown since December 23, 2025, to prevent inexpensive Chinese commercial quadcopters from dominating the global supply chain, relying on sweeping commercial bans, import tariffs, and financial penalties. But despite this, DJI is still getting their drones trialed and tested on the battlefield, and China is selling equipment to build these drones. Throughout our research, this is the best that we have come up with, Drone warfare is truly terrifying, and we need to be aware of the apparent ongoing changes that are coming with drone warfare and drones as a whole. This is a video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy most. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.